Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the very insane number of books I am intending to read until the end of the year. For a bit of context, so far in 2024 I've read 38 books. So pretty good. I am not someone who usually reads like 150 books a year anymore. When I was younger, I did. When I was like a teenager, I did. But now, the biggest number of books I've read in the last few years was 75. So I'm pretty happy about my number of books read in 2024 so far, but I still have a list of a TBR of sorts of books that I want to read until the end of the year. And this TBR is pretty ambitious. It is pretty ambitious because it has 33 books, and I don't know if I can do it in 4 months. Like, I would have to read a, a long number of books every month, so until the end of the year, so that I could read all of these. But it gives me an idea of which books I really want to read and which ones I don't, so that I can put those like as a priority for myself. So yeah, we'll chat about this TBR in this video, and I hope you like it. I hope you get some ideas of books to read yourself, or that you can tell me down below if you've read some of these books and if you liked it, because I would really like to know. So yeah, let's start it. I have my computer here, so I think I'll leave it here maybe. Yeah, that's good. So if I look down, it's because I'm reading my list on Notion. The first one is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sengu Mandana. And this is the author of The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which is one of my favorite books ever, like of my entire life. I love this book so much. I reread it all the time because I love it. It is so cozy, so magical. And she is coming out with a new book this year, like in September, I think. So this is one that didn't even launch yet, isn't even out, and I am already so excited for it. So hopefully I read it and I love it as much as The Very Secret Society. So yeah, this is the first one. The second one is When God Was a Woman by Marilyn Stone, and this is a non-fiction book about the old religion of the goddess. In ancient times, there were many societies and communities where they worshipped a goddess instead of a god, and that was the earliest god-like thing in the world. They worshipped a goddess and a great mother of sorts. So this book talks about that, and I really like these archaeological things, where you talk about ancient civilizations, and I think this is extra special because it talks about a goddess that predated all of the new religions. So yeah, and I really like that. So I need to finish this book. I already started it, but I haven't finished yet. The next one is The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss, and this is a reread. I love rereading books. If you stick around this channel for a bit, you will realize that I really like rereading, and this is a reread. I've reread this book two times already, and this is the third time because I really love this series by Patrick Rothfuss, and he isn't putting out the third book yet, and it's been like 1,000 years. So I really like to return to the series because I really love it and I miss it from time to time. And yeah, I'm finishing it already. I am reading it and I am finishing it, so it is underway. The next one is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. And this book is talked about everywhere. I've never read it, but everybody says it is very very cool, like a very cool concept. I think it is kind of a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. I am not sure, but it talks about mafia families. It sounds very cool, and I am really interested in reading it. And it is on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm gonna read it. The next one is The Narrow Path Between Desires by Patrick Rothfuss. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to reread the main series of The Name of the Wind, because I really wanted to read this little novella, and it came out in Brazil this year. So I have it in my my library, my bookshelves, and I'm gonna read it. And it talks about Bast, one of the characters of the main story, and it talks about him. And I really miss Patrick Rothfuss writing, so I take what I can get. The next one is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. And many people talked about this too. I was interested in it because it talks about Egypt. It is YA, I think, fantasy story that is placed in Egypt. So I'm very excited to read it and see what I think. And I got it on Amazon like when they were having a sale, so the book was very cheap. Then I have Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, and I really loved Emily Wilde's first book. Last year I read it and it was fantastic, and I still haven't gotten this one, but it's already out. And I really need to read it because many people said it is amazing. And I believe it because the story is very wholesome, very nice. I love the mythological aspects of it because the fairies in this world are very scary beings. Like, it's very folkloric, not like fairies in Sarah J. Maas, which they are very beautiful and amazing creatures. In this world, they are very folkloric and very mean, and I really like the dichotomy of that. But this series, I really like the first book, so I'm going to continue it. Then we have The Chronicles of Narnia, which I am going to reread. I found an ebook of it cheap on Amazon, and I really wanted to reread this series because I really like to revisit old classics I read as a child, and I really like to reread things. So I bought the bind up, the big one that has every single Chronicle of Narnia as an ebook, and I'm gonna read it because I think it will be very nostalgic and very nice. A very nice. I always think as a writer that I should be reading things that were written some time ago in a genre I really like because they set the tone for the genre very well. So yeah, I really want to read it. The next one is War, Lovely War by Julie Berry, and everybody is raving about this book. I'm very excited to read it. I don't have it, so I would have to acquire it, but people are saying it is amazing, it is emotional, it is incredible, and everybody I saw gave this book 5 stars. So I guess I have to read it. The next one is The Fragile Threads of Power by V. Schwab. I am already reading this one and I really love it. And I love everything V. Schwab has ever written. I've read many of her books, not every single one, but it is one of my personal goals to read every single one of her books. So this one is underway and it is very good so far. The next one is Mrs. Nash's Ashes by Sarah Adler. And it is a romance. Some people told me it is good, so I really wanted to read it. And again, I found the ebook really cheap on Amazon, so I thought I'd try it out. But I have it for a while and I didn't read it yet. But I am on a romance kick, so maybe I'll read it very soon. The next one is The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chosky. And it is a very raved about book as well. I am already reading it. As you can see, I am in the middle of many books. I always start books, I don't always finish them, so I have that problem. But this one I started a few months ago and I really liked the start of it. It is very dark, very also folkloric, like it has that tinge of something creeping underneath the floorboards, you know, and I really, really love it, and I need to finish it. There's no excuse. I was loving it and I stopped reading it. I don't know why. The next one is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, another loved author that I've never read anything by. And this was a series I chose to start reading her from because I really like these mysteries and FBI-esque stories. And this is exactly that, except teenage-like. So I'm very excited to read it. The next one is Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. I have no idea what it is about, but I've heard some people say it's good, and I also love the cover, and I also found it cheap on Amazon, so I bought it. Many of these were ebooks I found very cheap on Amazon and bought it in bulk, so I have some of those laying on my Kindle, and I haven't read them yet. The next one is The Way of Kings, talking about a book I'm loving, but I haven't finished yet. I've been reading this book for a year, maybe more, and I haven't finished it yet. It is 1,000 pages, so I have that little excuse, but that excuse, I can't give it anymore, man. I really need to finish it. It is very good, and it is, again, a workshop in fantasy, in my opinion, because Brandon Sanderson is one of the greatest writers of our time, and I really need to finish this book. I love him. The next one is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. It is a dark romance inspired by Captain Hook, like the villain is the main character, but it is contemporary, but it takes like fairy tales and it flips them on their heads. It is a series. They have many fairy tales or Disney stories, and where the main character is the villain. So I'm very excited to read that. It is on Kindle Unlimited, and many people said it is good, so I'm gonna read it. The next one is Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and I started reading it last night. So another one I am already reading. And I gotta say, it is really, really good. I started it and then I was kind of, how do you say, I was not thinking I would like it as much as her Chestnut Spring series. It is somehow somewhat connected to the Chestnut Spring series, but not really, like, not exactly. But I ended up reading until very, very late because I couldn't stop reading it. So Elsie Silver does it again. Her writing is very, very addictive. So if you love romance, if you love easy, swoon-worthy romance that has dual point of view, which is a great thing because I love dual point of view. I love getting the point of view of the love interest as well. Like both of them are main characters because they both have point of views. And it is very cool because you get to see the love interest falling in love, like falling for the girl hard and fast, and it is amazing. Then we have Butcher and Blackbird by Breen Weaver, and many people said it is amazing, and I can imagine it because it is a romance between two serial killers. So I think it will be gruesome, but also fun. You know, that little line. And many booktubers I trust said it is good. So I'm gonna read it. Again, I have the ebook, so might as well. Then we have The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. I really want to read it because, well, I'm a Harry Potter fan, so I really want to read this one. And my father read them, and he thinks they're good. So that's random, but I really trust my father's taste in books and movies and everything. He's very, like, he likes good things. So if he says it's good, I will probably try it out. And then we have numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 from the Harry Potter series because I'm rereading them, and I am currently on number 3. I'm currently reading The Prisoner of Azkaban, and then I will read the rest of them. So I have them here because I really want to finish this reread this year. I have a new set of them. Like my husband, when he was my boyfriend, gave me a set of, like a box set of the series, very pretty, and I've never read them in that version of the books, you know. So I'm reading and annotating them because I love the series. So I think I need to have a set of annotated copies. So that's what I'm doing. Then we have the Calling Down the Hawk, I think, by Maggie Stiefvater. I adore the Raven Boys, the Raven Cycle. I love that series so much with all my heart. So I really need to read romance series, which is like it takes place after the events of Raven Cycle. So it starts with Calling Down the Hawk, and I need to read it. The next one is A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. And I read A River Enchanted, I read Divine Arrivals, I read those books by her, and I really love her writing. The first book of this duology, A River Enchanted, is very, very good. It is a fantasy based on Scotland, like Scottish folklore. So it is very interesting, very different, and really, really engaging. And it ended on a cliffhanger that had me pulling out my hair. So I need to read the second book. The next one is The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. I started it as an audiobook and I need to finish it. It sounds very engaging. I really love Mark Lawrence's writing. I've read by him. I also listened as an audiobook. The Grey Sister, I think, and it was amazing. I really need to read the rest of that series too, but it isn't on this TBR. But it is very good. I think he has a very raw way of writing that I really enjoy for some reason. But yeah, I need to read The Book That Wouldn't Burn. Also, The Adventures of Amina Al-Serafi by Shannon Chakrabarty. Everybody talks about it. It is a pirate story, which I love pirates. I've written a pirate story, and I love pirates, so I really need to read that. Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. I want to read everything by Olivia Blake because I loved every other book I read by her. I loved recently One for My Enemy. It was fantastic, so I really need to read Masters of Death. A Curious Beginning by Deanna Rayborn. I got the recommendation from Katie of the channel Katie is Reading, and she talks about this series in every video she posts. So I'm very excited to read the first one and see what I think. Then we have the last one, which is Dune. And yes, Dune, the classic Dune, the one with the movies with Timothée Chalamet. I haven't read it yet, and I watched Dune 2 this year, and I absolutely loved it. So it made me want to run and read the books, and that's what I'm gonna do. So it is also in progress, right? I am already reading it, but I haven't finished it yet. So yeah, this is my very ambitious TBR for the end of 2024, like for the next 3.5 months. And I can't believe I'm doing this to myself, but I'm very excited. It's not 3.5 months, is it? No, half of August, right? Because today is the 15th of August. So half of August, then September, October, November, December. Oh, it's 4.5 months. Okay. I think I can do it, guys. Comment down below if you think I can do it or not. Be kind. And tell me if you've read any of these books or if you want to read any of these books and what do you think about them, because I'm very excited to read all of them. I don't think I think I could read them if I really sat and read, you know, if I really put my mind into it. I think I could read all 33 of them, but I don't know if I will because I'm also a very big mood reader. So sometimes I read things that I'm just in the mood for, and they are not on my TBR. So let's see how it goes. I really hope I read at least some of those, at least half maybe. I will do a checkup when the end of the year comes, and we'll see how many of these I actually read. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I will talk a lot about books, writing, and art, and everything I love in this channel, so I hope you stick around to see it. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!